अस्सलामुअलैकुम। तो स्टार्ट करते हैं आज की हमारी वीडियो, जिसमें हम वेटिंग फॉर गोडो के ऊपर बात करेंगे और उसकी सिंबलिज्म और इमेजरी को डिस्कस करेंगे। फर्स्ट वन इज हु इज गोडो। Beckett is believed to have said that the name Godot comes from the French Godelt, meaning a military boat. Beckett fought in the war, and so spending long periods of time waiting for messages to arrive would have been commonplace for him. The more common interpretation that it might be God is almost certainly wrong. Beckett apparently stated that if he had meant God, he would have written God. Godot is a relatively common name in French. Then there are two characters, Vladimir and the Astragon, which represent both their separate identity and separate characters, and Vladimir and Astragon represent entire human race. Through them we are able to discover how humans behave and act. Human existence is seen through absurd conversation which these two men have. Meaningless conversation and action are used to simply pass time. Then there is a next imagery, which is a tree. The tree may represent the cross on which Jesus crucified. It stands as a symbol of hope because in the end of the play it has leaf. इसके जो ट्री है, जो सिंबल है, वो रिप्रेजेंट करता है, मतलब कि पहले जब प्ले स्टार्ट होता है तो उसके ऊपर कोई भी लीव्स कुछ भी नहीं था, वो बिल्कुल ख़त्म होने के करीब था, और इट मीन्स इट रिप्रेजेंट इट हैज़ नो होप, और एट द एंड ऑफ द प्ले उस पे जो लीव्स है वो आ गए थे, इट मीन्स देयर इज सम काइंड ऑफ होप. देन देयर इज अ hanging. Both character Vladimir and Astragon consider hanging themselves as way out of their situation. जैसा कि मैंने आपको पहले भी बताया कि जो Astragon है वो Vladimir से कहता है कि हम फजूल फारिग बैठे हैं, हम उसका वेट कर रहे हैं, उसने आना नहीं है, तो हम इससे अच्छा है हम सुसाइड कर लेते हैं, हम सुसाइड कमिट कर लेते हैं. They decide against it eventually as they wait in hopes that Godot will resolve their problem. A country road over the span of 2 nights, unknown time and place. Wrong place, wrong time. The tramps are confused about the time and place where to meet Godot. This represents their confusion of life itself. We are never really sure whether Act 1 and Act 2 take place in the same location, other than the fact that Beckett described it as such in the stage direction. We also don't know what lies off stage, since Vladimir and Astragon are always forced back onto the stage in some form or another. Then there is a ditch. This may refer to biblical parable of Good Samaritan, in which a kind traveler helps a man who has been bitten and robbed. No one ever helps Astragon. His lying in the ditch shows how the friends who have seen better days are now poor and reduced to violent circumstances. Then there is again symbol of carrot. Carrot is a good comic relief in which both Vladimir and Astragon can't agree on the vegetable. No matter what we call it, we will referring to the same thing, Vladimir. Nothing you can do about it. Astragon, no use wriggling. Vladimir, the essential does not change. At first they were bickering over the way carrot tasted. It doesn't really matter who is right and who is wrong about the carrot. This symbolizes our questions of reality. We put label on things, but that is not really the way things really are. We want to see the absolute truth about truth, but we can't. Then there is again about the road. It's like the road of life. Just like human life has not clear beginning, the road has no clear ending. यहाँ पर जो रोड है वो इस चीज़ को शो कर रहा है कि ह्यूमन लाइफ की जो पैसेज ऑफ उसका जो ड्यूरेशन है, उसकी ज़िंदगी में कोई भी क्लियर रोड नहीं है, उसकी क्लियर कोई बिगनिंग नहीं है, मिडल नहीं है, एंड नहीं है. नथिंग इज़ प्लान्ड इन हिज लाइफ, इन हिज और हर लाइफ, और हर चीज़ अनप्लान्ड है, आउट ऑफ सेंस है. और मॉडर्न मैन तो डिपिक्ट यही चीज़ करता है कि हर चीज़ मीनलेस है, कोई भी पर्पस नहीं है, कोई भी एम नहीं है जो कि अचीव किया जा सके. Then Vladimir's song. Vladimir's song, it's reflection of how all the action in the play repeat themselves and circular in nature. So is this song. Song in two act, death is the theme. Then there is a character Pozo. He sees himself a superior being. He recognizes the tramps as inferior species as myself, and he is also self-absorbed and sees himself godlike image. Pozo, he has desire to command and commit and dominate Lucky. Then there is a smell. Estragon is repeatedly repelled by smell in waiting for Godot. Vladimir stinks of garlic. Lucky smells like who knows what. इसमें garlic के बारे में बात होती है कि वो जो एस्ट्रेगन है वो उसको बार बार व्लादिमीर को कहता है कि मुझे तुमसे गार्लिक की स्मेल आ रही है, और वो कहता है कि मुझे किडनी प्रॉब्लम है इसलिए मैं इसको यूज़ करता हूँ, इसलिए तुम्हें इसकी स्मेल आ रही है. Lucky represents a pathetic specimen of human race. He is called a pig and a hog and even certain by others, and yet feel lucky to belong to their group and lives as a slave while eating scraps which are thrown to him. लकी जो है वो रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है पैथेटिक लाइफ ऑफ ह्यूमन रेस, और जिसकी कोई मर्जी नहीं है, उसको हर किसी की बात माननी है, और his name is ironic as he is fortunate even when his master is blind. Then there is a nightfall and the rising moon. While Vladimir and Estragon wait for Godot, they also wait for nightfall. For some reason, they don't have to wait for him once the night has fallen. And the classic interpretation is that night, dark death, the falling of night is as much as reprieve from daily suffering as death is from the suffering of a lifetime. Then Gogo's nightmare. These represent discomfort and lack of tranquility of tramps with regards to their situation. They have an inability to laugh. आई होप कि आपको वीडियो अच्छी लगी होगी और आपको इसकी बहुत अच्छी अंडरस्टैंडिंग भी हो गई होगी. सिंबलिज्म और इमेजरी की, जो कि वेटिंग फॉर गॉडो में है बाय सैमुअल बकेट. और मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में. तब तक रखिए अपना ख्याल. अल्लाह हाफ़िज़.